joined by head coach Greg McDermott. Coach, we're going to start with a statement, and we'll take questions.
It's a great win for us because we beat a very good basketball team. Especially with what they did to us at our place, we don't give up 99 points anywhere very often, let alone on our home court. And that was all credit to Butler on that particular night. So for us to hold them to 22 on their court in the second half, I thought our guys were really locked into the changes that we made and the nuances defensively that were a little different than the first time we played them. And then, let's face it, we made some shots the second half and they didn't.
Questions?
Coach, you guys obviously are familiar with playing faster, but Butler's really struggled in transition defense recently. 22-2 in fast break points. Was that something you guys had as a point of emphasis coming in to take advantage of that?
I mean, it's always a point of emphasis for us. And I think sometimes people think because we don't have a very deep bench that we can't play fast, and that's the farthest from the truth. We're going to play fast. We're going to try to attack in that first 5 or 6 seconds if we can, and try to put as much pressure on the defense as we possibly can. Our guys are really well conditioned, and then we manage the rest of it during the week in practice. But we at Xavier we had a 9 or 10 point advantage in transition points, and once again today we had the advantage there.
Baylor had a great game in the first time you played Butler, did so again today. What's something about this matchup in particular that allows him to really get going?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously they're really physical with Kalkbrenner on the inside, and they'll run some help there some. So, Kalkbrenner's a great screener besides all the other things he does for us, and he set some incredible flare screens and pin downs for Baylor to get him loose. And then, Baylor's continued to develop the part of his game where he's going to the basket, finishing at the rim, to go with his elite ability to shoot the basketball.
When you compare this matchup to the first game you played against Butler, you were able to do different things tonight against Telford and Davis on defense. What was the adjustment there for you?
Well, we tried to be a little bit more physical. We tried to keep it out of Davis's hands a little bit more. Telford, I mean, he put on a clinic of tough shot making at our place. And, sometimes you just tip your hat to a guy that makes great plays, and he made some phenomenal plays at our place. And some of those were, we were okay with. He just happened to make them, and I thought we were a little bit more physical. We did run Kalkbrenner at him a few times and switched it. We got aggressive with ball screens a few times, and that we were able to turn him over and knock him out of rhythm a little.
And what was the biggest lesson that you took away from that first game? Was it just being more physical, or was there something else you guys were?
I mean, part of it was as we on the film review is they made some shots that we wanted them to take. They're going to get a shot. What kind of shot is it's up to our defense sometimes. And we thought Davis hit some tough threes on the move at our place. We thought that Telford really made some tough shots at the basket that were challenged, and mid-range shots with a hand in his face, fadeaways. So we stuck to our guns for the most part. Changed our ball screen coverage a little bit, and like I said, worked a little harder maybe to keep it out of Davis's hands a little more.
When you go through that film review from the previous game, and Butler has Posh Alexander today versus not in that first game, how does that change your prep for a game and figuring out what to juggle in terms of previewing?
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult at our place because we were prepared for him to play.
Yeah.
And, the way he shot it tonight, I'm glad, they put another shooter on the floor when Posh couldn't play. And on that particular night, I think Bizjack was 3 for 3 from the three-point line in Posh's absence. So, but Posh brings so much to the table defensively, and his ability to set the table for others. And we just let him get it to his spots a little bit too easily the first half, and the second half I thought we cleaned that up.
A couple more.
Thank you. He's in there waiting for you.
Thank you.
Butler's on their way.
All right, we'll start with a couple questions for Jalen and let him go, and then go for Thad. So, whoever would like to start, Lucas, go ahead.
Jalen, you're able to get some shots to go from deep early in this one. It seemed like for maybe the first time this season, you looked to shoot on those catches rather than just kind of realizing you're open. Was that kind of a point of emphasis coming in with the way Creighton defends, or just something you've been working on?
I mean, I've been working on it all year, but especially this game with Kalkbrenner, he doesn't like to come out there. You know, he's a bigger guy, so there was an emphasis during practice to shoot those shots, and I've been working on it, so I was ready to make them.
And what was the biggest difference in your performance in the first half, or just the team's performance in the first half and the second half? I mean, obviously you guys were playing very well on offense, and then the second half it seemed like you were struggling to make shots.
Yeah, first half, you know, we came out with some fire, and, you know, I thought we played decently. I thought we should have been up more at halftime, but, you know, nevertheless, we had the lead. And then second half, once again, we just came out flat, and they laid it on us defensively, and we couldn't get a stop when we needed one. So.
Coach has talked a few times this year about tying your offense to your defense. Is that something you guys maybe did this in the second half when the shots weren't falling as often?
Yeah, like I said, defensively we weren't the best second half, and it showed in the score. And you know, they went on a run, and we weren't able to clap back, and that was the game. So.
And then once they start to kind of catch fire from three, just how hard is it to play behind? And do you find yourself pressing a little bit more when they're shooting well from three and you guys are struggling to hit from three?
I mean, we just couldn't Making shot. Creighton's one of the best offenses in the country, and when they're making shots and you can't get a stop and we're not making shots, it's gonna go like it did today every time. So it's got to be better.
Last one, Jalen.
This was the last of the 3-game homestand. It's 2 on the road after this. So when you get back to the locker room today, you get back into practice this week. As the veteran of this group, what's the message to the rest of the team?
Just not to quit. After having a game like that, we still got 5 games left this year, and we still have a chance, to do something with this team. So just not make sure we stick together and just be positive, really, and just know that we can't have days like today. So.
Thanks, Jalen. Questions, Coach?
Coach McDermott said that one of the biggest differences between this game and last game was you guys were making some of the tough shots that they wanted you to take. Was that one of the differences you saw, is just the inability to make some of those tough shots?
Yeah, and not only the tough ones, we missed a lot of open ones. And it just when you play a team as good as Creighton is, when the shots don't fall, that ignites their transition, and they got going in transition, and we could not get it stopped. And we knew coming in this game. I thought first half we were as active defensively. I thought we did a tremendous job, and when the ball wasn't going in the second half, we lost our defensive focus, and they were hitting us so quick that we just never get out of it. We can never recover.
Coach, we talked after the Marquette game about transition defense in that one today. 22 transition points given up. What is something you can do, particularly in the second half when things start to kind of get on the tracks, to be able to slow down an offense that is looking to spray the ball across the court around against you?
I mean, you got to score. The scoring helps so much in that regard. It's hard to fast break when you're taking the ball out of the net. And then, they do a good job, and they got hot. I mean, they got rolling on us, and we didn't get completely matched the way we needed to at times. And there was the one play job drove down 41, I think, and somehow I'm not sure how, but he ended up on the ground and he missed a layup, and they hit a 3 at the other end on us. And that kind of got them going. I still don't know how he ended up on the ground. I got a pretty good idea how he ended up on the ground. But those are the type of things that can happen. And that got him going there. Posh went in one time, got knocked down, and there was another 3 in transition because we're right. And that's a credit to them because they move the ball so well and find the shooters.
You made 5 of your first 7 threes tonight, 1 for 15 after that. A case of kind of contagious missed shots, something Creighton did different.
I've always said this. It seems like free throw shooting is contagious. If you're hitting them, you shoot well. If you miss them, you're not. And that was definitely because I thought we had some really good looks. DJ had some open looks, and it was. You hate to say it, but it was one of those days for us, and unfortunately, and this team hasn't had many of those. I told them that after the game. We've been knocked down throughout the course of the game, but today was the first time we weren't able to respond to it.
And when you look at the 1 for 15 that followed from 3, the 3 free throw attempts today, is that something that's just kind of tying? You weren't hitting shots from deep. Is there some way you can play off of that and work the ball more inside? What do you think in that area of the game, your balance offensively?
They play so unique with Kalkbrenner, and just in terms of where he is positioning wise on the floor, it's hard to get good looks down there. We, as Coach McDermott said, we made a lot of tougher shots in game 1, and we had some guys. When we don't shoot the ball well, it's been problematic all year for us. There's no doubt about that.
Just 2 points from Pierre Brooks tonight. And I know you can count on him to be a scorer in most games, but it's a stretch now where it feels like when he's off the dribble, he's created a lot of turnovers trying to find other teammates. Yeah. What's something that he can do, especially off the dribble, to improve in that area?
It's funny because Pierre's got to play well for us. There's no doubt about that. And for whatever reason, he may have been, I don't know if he was pressing a little bit or trying to force the issue a little bit, but we got to get him back in check and get him playing well. He's got to play well for us.
Coach, you said this was one of the first games that kind of got away from you in a while. Is that just because Creighton is hitting those threes again and you guys are not, and you're again playing from behind, maybe pressing, or what would you attribute the kind of a non-competitive game to?
Yeah, I think it was our inability, and I'm not. Creighton did a phenomenal job defensively. I'm not taking anything away from that, but it was just, we didn't have it when we needed it to get those stops that we needed and get the scores that, the other night being down 12 to Marquette and cutting it to 2, we were able to do some things, and we just got to look at it and we got to get better. We had a quick turnaround coming here Tuesday.
Coach, Coach, it's been really tough competition lately. That's 4 home losses in conference play so far. You got 2 more left. What's something you guys can do to really protect home court at a different level and sustain a 40-minute effort?
We got to keep competing. We've got to keep getting better. Just from the standpoint of all of us. And I told these guys, you got to ask yourself, what can I do to help this team? And we're proven that when we play good, don't play great. When we play good, plays good, we're a really good basketball team, and that's what we got to do.
Coach, can you explain the matchup problem that Baylor Shireman presents as a 4 who's as versatile as he is?
Yeah, he just he's a tremendous basketball player. He's gonna make a lot of money playing this game, and he got off to a great start, and they do a good job finding him, and his release is so quick, and he finishes in transition. A couple of those finishes, I think Augusto blocked one in, but no, he's one of the best we've seen all year. There's no question about that.
One more. Double-digit turnovers for, I think, 3rd, 4th straight game. And obviously the assist numbers coincide with shots not going in, but 12 to 11 assisted turnover today. How's that something that you guys can really work on, especially after only committing 4 turnovers at Creighton the last time?
Yeah, 5, but
sorry.
5, yeah. We got to be smarter. We got to be tougher with the basketball. We need shots at the basket. There's no question about it, and I think just we're leaving our feet on passes when we get into the paint and stuff like that. We just got to be more sound with it. So.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.